All right, guys, from the house of Jovoy. I see my little plants back here. All right. Yeah, House of Jovoy. Hopefully, we have a good fragrance. We're going through that discovery set as usual. And this fragrance is it unisex? Rouge. I'm almost spoiling the name. Oh, it's a for women fragrance. All right, ladies, strap up. We're going for that ride.
Okay, dinner for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let the sin into the room. You were on time, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right. Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. For the house of Jovoy, we have Rouge Assassin. Now, the description calls this fragrance a color. This is how they describe it. A color can have an odor. See, that's a good quote because sometimes I call a fragrance a white fragrance or a red or a purple fragrance. They get me here. This Rouge Assassin perfumes the powdery nuances of carmine, voluptuously ardent lipstick. Okay. A woman's lipstick, a woman in love who would use it to write a message on a mirror, a fervent declaration of fiery last words, final until tomorrow. Passion, jealousy, vengeance, love is a hot-blooded killer who leaves behind a criminal trail as he passes. Both women and men succumb. Okay, this is where they're starting to get so poetic. Hopefully it helps the fragrance. Sometimes what you don't understand you can define in a fragrance, and other times you are capping. Let's get an initial impressions. I don't know what to think of this fragrance at all based on that description. So we are just going to dive right in. Rouge Assassin. Okay, interesting. Similar to Gardi's Muy. I'm probably pronouncing that so wrong. It has a hairspray type of smell. I said that Gardi's was kind of like somewhere in between a shampoo and a hairspray. This feels very hairsprayish. Very hairsprayish. I get some type of florals, probably like a rose or white floral, maybe an iris, but no distinct iris. It feels something in and of white, purple, or pink flowers. Texturally, it feels like hairspray. Let's just go straight to the window here to see what we're dealing with, because I don't know how else to describe this. Rose and bergamot up top, rice powder, ambrit, and elemi in the mid, iris, vanilla, cedarwood, musk, tonka bean, benzoin, and sandalwood. What do they say here? Rice. That's an interesting accord. I don't smell that. It's very musky. I get this kind of hairspray rose in a very natural way. Elemi resin, I don't get that at all. Bergamot, a lot of times people don't know this, but Aaron Terrence Hughes talks about this a lot. Bergamot is such an easy raw material to mix with fragrances. And a lot of times, if you don't smell the bergamot in the fragrance, it's just simply used to lift up the other raw materials. It's a good supportive element that sometimes doesn't need to make itself known. Like when you mix it with other ingredients, it just kind of lifts everything up without necessarily being distinctly lemony or limey. So I don't get bergamot in this fragrance, but I definitely get a lifted elevation of florals. Maybe rose with the tiniest slice of iris, kind of providing this wet flower slash density to the flower. It is very musky. I think there's a lot of musk in here, to be honest. And maybe that's what's making it texturally feel like hairspray. Sandalwood, little bit benzoin, little bit tonka vanilla, the softest way possible. Those probably only make up about 15-20% of the fragrance. 80-ish% of this feels just super, very light rose with the touch of iris and a load of musk. And yeah, I mean, for me, this is very average. This, even though it smells natural, because of its affiliation to the hairspray vibe, I'm calling this a 7 out of 10. Very average. I think you could get this DNA in just about anything out of a Bath and Body Works or hairspray you would get at a Walmart. Women, I would shy away from this fragrance. I think in the soft rose category, Replica makes some decent fragrances that are better than this, probably a little bit cheaper as well. And yeah, I mean, it does smell good, but in a very average way. Like, there's a psychology when you know you're buying a niche fragrance, you have an expectation that things will be elevated, things will be unique, things will be somewhat unfamiliar because you're stepping up in luxury. This feels like I could blind test you on a $5 to $10 hairspray and you wouldn't really know the difference. There isn't, you know, before with Gardez or whatever, I said that it's an average DNA elevated by a little bit of luxury. This is less than average of a DNA elevated by luxury. So I'm being generous, I think, giving this a 7. I think most women would find this to be about a 6, truthfully. It is a any season, any reason soft fragrance. So maybe something you want to try in a discovery set. Some women like stuff like this. That's why Bath and Body Works and Replica fragrance line is very popular, because a lot of women like this style of DNA. I just feel like it's not something a woman would pay $200 for. That's my case in point. So I have to factor that in. I think on the dry down, the iris sticks out a little bit more. It's a dusty iris, but that musk is so tied to everything, it's hard to really escape. Technically a 6 out of 10. I personally, as a man, give it about a 7 out of 10. The dry down is a lot more beautiful than the opening to me, because it's very musky in the opening, and there's not a lot of beauty around that musk. It's just like super musk driven. It is a any season, any reason, super casual type of fragrance. I wouldn't even think it's upscale casual in the least bit. And I just think there's other better options, ladies, in the Bath and Body Works and Replica fragrance line category. Yeah, that's all I got for it. Like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. We drop episodes every single day, again, from the house of Jovoy, which, you know, despite the fact that we're starting with kind of low numbers with Jovoy, I've saved all the bangers because I've kind of ranked them from worst to best. So we're starting from my worst and going to my best. I still think this is easily one of the best discovery sets I've ever smelled in terms of versatility, quality, uniqueness, range. You know, they have 16 different fragrances, and trust me when I say you will go through the Jovoy set and at least find probably like 8 to 10 fragrances you would at least consider buying. So this was Rouge Assassin from Jovoy, and I give it about a 6 or a 7. So let me know in the comments if you've tried it before, and if you have any questions, love to get back to you. Be blessed, guys. Talk to you later.